Did you see what happened in Santa Clara Monday night? No, I'm not talking about the beating Clemson administered to Alabama, one shocking in its scale and totality. It was the quality of play in the game itself that was so striking, so foreign. Unless you're a fan of about 10 other college programs, if that many, it was nothing like what your favorite team puts forth on a weekly basis. The caliber of athlete all over the field, for both teams, was at once impressive and discouraging. Impressive in that so much talent was assembled by just two programs, and discouraging for the very same reason. If you're a Pitt fan, why get too excited about what any season might hold? The Clemsons and Alabamas of the world, as well as the Ohio States, Oklahomas, and Georgias, are playing a different sport. They're playing something that feels closer to the NFL than it does the rest of college football. Sure, there could be mild glories like a divisional championship, or an upset here or there, like the one in Death Valley that Pitt fans still hold up proudly a few years later, but there is no reason to expect anything major out of a given year. Part of this is geographical, part is financial, part is a function of Pitt's existence in what is most definitely a pro town. None of those explanations make it any less of a mood killer. Dabo Swinney has built a juggernaut out of what was a mediocre program when he took over, but once things started to turn for the better, there was no doubt that alumni dollars and rabid, total support would follow. The Tigers are the only game in town. Nick Saban did the same thing at Alabama, a sleeping giant when he took over. Once he started recruiting well, the Crimson Tide went from afterthought to obsession in Tuscaloosa. Even if such a thing happened at Pitt, even if the Panthers had an incredible run of good recruits, and emerged as a legitimate challenger to Clemson in the ACC, it would always feel like they were on borrowed time. It's too difficult to sell top recruits on the idea of playing in a pro town. Clemson and Alabama, on the other hand, will almost certainly be great for as long as Swinney and Saban choose to coach. Once the ball gets rolling downhill in college football hotbeds, it tends to keep right on going. Those guys will continue to have their pick of 4- and 5-star recruits, and if one leaves early, he will be replaced by someone arguably better. Kelly Bryant is probably one of the best 30 quarterbacks in the country, and he lost his starting job to Trevor Lawrence, who would likely be the top pick in this year's NFL draft, if he wasn't 19 and not eligible until 2021. Pitt has Kenny Pickett, last seen doing next to nothing in Pitt's final 2 games of the season. It's hard to blame the Panthers, or virtually any other team like them. Former Blue Bloods have fallen on hard times. Even Notre Dame, a team that made the college football playoff, seemed outclassed up and down the line. Pat Narduzzi, just like every other coach in the country, is trying his best. But his best won't be enough, or close to it. All of this combines to create an environment where watching this sport feels nihilistic. Your team might do well, might have an 8-4 or even a 9-3 season when 6-6 or 5-7 is expected, but does it really matter? You're not close to the sport's elites, and never will be. Why bother with a heavy emotional investment? Why get angry after a close mid-season loss? It's all just positioning for any number of meaningless, interchangeable bowl games anyway. Clemson, Alabama may have been riveting theater for fans of those teams, but don't kid yourself, for Pitt fans, and many like them, it was a sobering reminder of what will never be.